coming into a comfortable cross-legged seated position, removing the flesh away from your seat, spine long, shoulders down and back, lifting through the sternum and the crown of the head. Softening your gaze or closing your eyes, taking a moment to connect with your breath. Bringing the air all the way down into the lower lobes of your lungs, filling the belly up, feeling it expand like a balloon, and then naturally letting the air leave the body out through the nose, in through the nose. Keeping your attention on your breath and body, noticing and feeling how the body moves to accommodate the air and to let it out. And one more big deep breath here, all the way down into the belly, feeling from the bottom up. Opening up your eyes if they're closed, rolling the shoulders forward, up and back. Making really big circles with the shoulders. And then switching directions, back, up and forward. And slowing that down, neck flexed forward, chin to the chest, coming into some half circles. Inhale, rolling the right ear towards the right shoulder, getting a stretch on the left-hand side of the neck. And then exhale to drop the chin down towards the chest, making a half circle, rolling over left ear over to the left shoulder, stretching out the right side of the neck. So following with your breath, exhale as you're coming down and forward. Inhale as you're coming off to the side. Reach the opposite elbow away from you as you're rolling off to the side. One more each way. Inhale, head up through center. Inhale, the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale to drop them down. One more. Some seated cat-cow curls, hands on the knees. Inhale, the chest forward, looking up, extending through the spine. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the belly, tuck the gaze. Follow with your own breath. One more each way. Coming back through center, bringing the soles of the feet together and away from the body, making a diamond shape, making sure that your ankles are on your mat or something soft. And coming into tortoise pose, inhale, length through the spine. Exhale, hinge forward as far as you can without rounding the back, and then allow yourself to fold over, bringing your head down towards your feet, and then scooping your forearms underneath your legs and making them parallel to one another. Fingertips spread wide, pulling the belly button in and up here. Breathing into where you feel the restriction, the tightness. And as you exhale, feel yourself get a little bit heavier. Relax into the pose. Slow, long, smooth breaths. One more breath here. And then untucking your arms, slowly ragdoll your spine up. And then coming onto all fours into tabletop. Knees underneath the hips, wrists underneath the shoulders, fingertips spread wide, coming in to thread the needle. You're gonna inhale, left arm out to the side and up towards the ceiling, looking up. Exhale, swoop the left arm underneath the right, lying down on the outside edge of the shoulder, left cheek to the floor, and then keeping the right hand in front of your face or draping it across the low back, maybe tucking it into the left hip crease. So hips are stacked over top of the knees. Breathing deeply here. As you exhale, feel your weight get heavy. Feel the surface below you supporting your weight. Big, slow, long breaths. One more breath here. And then placing your right hand in front of your face if it isn't there already, fingertips spread wide, pressing into the right fingertips and then swoop the left arm out to the side and up towards the ceiling, look up. Exhale, lower down into tabletop. Left fingers spread wide, wrist underneath the shoulders, coming into the other side. Sweep the right arm out to the side and up as you breathe in. Look up. Exhale, swoop the right arm underneath the left leg on the outside of the shoulder, right cheek down to the floor. Keeping your left hand in front of your face or maybe draping it across your low back, tucking it into the hip crease. Breathing deeply here, feeling your weight get heavier with each breath out. One more breath here. And then placing the left hand in front of your face if it isn't there already, fingertips spread wide, pressing into the fingertips, swoop the right arm out to the side and up as you breathe in, look up, exhale down into tabletop. Coming into puppy pose, walking the hands forward, keeping the hips stacked over top of the knees, and then allowing your chest to reach down towards the earth. Elbows extended, really listening to your body, sinking into it slowly. Breathing into where you feel the tension, the tightness. And then as you exhale, feel your weight get heavy, the bones, having the muscles melting off of them. One more breath here. And then gently bending into the elbows, bringing the weight onto the forearms, and then walking onto your hands, keeping them a little bit forward, more forward than your shoulders, coming into downward facing dog, tucking the toes under and then lifting the hips up. So fingertips spread wide, pressing into the fingertips, relaxing the shoulder blades down the back. More emphasis on the length of the spine than the length in the legs. Bend through your knees as much as you need to. Reaching the sits bones up, reaching the chest towards the thighs, and relaxing the heels down towards the earth. It's okay if your heels don't reach. Let your head dangle, shaking it maybe a little no, a little yes. Big breath here. And then walking your hands towards your feet, coming into a standing forward fold, letting your upper body dangle down towards the earth. Bend through your knees as much as you need to, feet parallel to one another. You have your hands down on the earth or hanging onto opposite elbows. Or if you want to open up through the chest, interlacing the fingers behind your back and lifting the hands up and over. Keeping the shoulders relaxed down the back. Breathing deeply here. The deeper the bend in the knees, the more you're going to get into your low back instead of your hamstrings. So really listen to your body, see what you need. Breathe deeply. Let your upper body get a little heavier with each breath out. Feel the weight evenly distributed across the four corners of both your feet. One more breath here. And unlace your hands if they're lifted, hands down to the mat. And then we're gonna walk our hands forward, coming back into downward facing dog. Fingertips spread wide, elbows extended, shoulders relaxed down the back, head heavy. Knees bent as much as you need to. Lift the sits bones up. Reach the chest towards your thighs. Big breath here. Inhale, come forward into plank. Shoulders over top of your wrists, fingertips spread wide, and then tip forward, lower down through Chaturanga, keeping the elbows hugged in tight. Inhale, upward facing dog or Cobra. Exhale into child's pose, widening the knees, keeping the big toes together, and sitting back towards your heels, reaching your arms forward, relaxing your forehead down into the earth. Big, deep breaths here. Feel your weight get heavy with each breath out. One more breath here. Coming into a side stretch, walking your hands over to the left hand side, and as you're sitting your hips back, notice where the body wants to stop, and then allow yourself to settle there. Fanning open the right side of the rib cage, breathing into it. So you exhale, getting heavy. One more breath here. And then walking your hands first back through center, and then over to the right hand side, keeping the heels or the hips sunk towards the heels. Find your edge and breathe into it. Fanning open the left side of the rib cage. And then walking your hands back through center, coming up onto your knees, making your way onto your back. And then bringing your arms out into a T position or bend into the elbows to cactus arms. And then pressing the soles of your feet into the mat, picking your hips up and moving them over to the right hand side. And then drawing the knees in to the chest and together, and then rolling over onto the left hip, bringing the knees over to the left hand side. And noticing if there's any pinching, please reposition yourself and change it so it doesn't hurt. And then looking up at the ceiling or rotating to look over your right shoulder in this supine spinal twist. Let your knees relax so that they're stacked over top of each other, but you're not using a lot of muscle engagement to hold them there. Allow yourself to really relax into the pose with each breath out. One more breath here. And then rotate your head back up towards the ceiling if it's off to the side. Engage your core and lift your knees back up. Pressing the soles of the feet into the mat and repositioning the hips back into the middle. And then drawing your knees into your chest, interlacing your fingers across the shins, rocking side to side, giving your low back a bit of massage, and realigning the spine. And then slowing that down, letting your feet float down onto the mat, bringing your arms into T position or cactus arms, pressing the soles of the feet into the mat to pick up the hips and shift them over to the left hand side a little bit. And then keeping the thighs together, drawing them in towards the chest and then rolling over onto your right hip, bringing the knees to the right. And then keeping your gaze up at the ceiling or looking over your left shoulder. Breathing deeply and slowly, and with each exhale, feel yourself let go a little bit more. One more breath here. And then rotating your head so you're facing the ceiling if it's off to the side. And engage your core, lift your knees back up through center, press the soles of your feet onto the mat, pick up your hips and bring them back into the middle, knees to chest, interlace the fingers across the shins, rock side to side. And then slowing that down, coming into your final Savasana. Extending your legs, letting your feet flop out to the sides, elbows extended, palms up, taking up as much space feels good for you. Shoulder blades tucked underneath your back and chin tucked in towards the chest. Softening your gaze or closing your eyes and taking the time to be here right now in the present moment. Naturally breathing, noticing all the contact points between the surface below you and your body. Namaste.